Yeah, I think the mindset is let's continue to get better. I think we've really seen from day one until now, the guys have really improved. And obviously, when you cut the lights on in front of a bunch of people on ESPN, obviously, we want to see us play well.
Sounds like it's been pretty smooth sailing for you coming in so far.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty smooth sailing. Obviously, I think there's some things probably publicly out there, but, it is what it is. It's football. You're going to have some guys get nicked up, but I've been proud of the guys that we have and the guys that have stepped over and made plays for us.
How much, if at all, has just the number situation there kind of impacted what you guys are installing, or has it?
Well, the good news for us is even though we've had some injuries and things of that nature, we've been able to get other guys from the other side of the ball. It might not be the exact guy that we wanted in that spot, but we've been able to still have the same type of practice and all that stuff throughout spring ball.
So not too limited?
Not too limited.
What have you seen from Keon so far?
I've seen Keon. I thought he had his best day of the spring today. I've seen him get incrementally a little bit better. I think anytime you're in a new system, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but I really like the way he attacked today. I thought today was his best day.
What did you talk to him coming in the spring just about what you want to work on with his game?
Yeah, I think the number one thing in his game is just continuing to improve overall. I think there's this narrative out there that he's only a receiving tight end, but he's actually got a little power in his hips and things like that, and he can really move people off the ball, but he's got to continue to get better at that.
Coach, how's this offense use tight ends? It becomes so much more of a part of the passing game and things in the last second half game or so.
Yeah, I think you asked Coach Napier, we're about 60-40, 11 personnel versus 12 personnel, and I think we're going to try to use the tight ends in a lot of different ways. Obviously with some of the situations that have happened this spring, we probably haven't been able to open it up as much as we'd like, but it's definitely a place for us to throw the football to the tight ends and also use them in the run game to create those shot plays that we're looking for.
How much more prominent do you think that become offense?
I think the big thing with tight ends is the ability to play in big personnel groupings, but also spread it out. I think so many times when people see 12 personnel, they assume it's all going to be in the box and, you're just going to run the football every snap. But when you can really be a good, efficient offense in 12 personnel is whenever you can spread it out and throw the football vertically down the field, and that's where you can really challenge people on all levels.
Billy's called Dante a godsend, just making this transition over. How big of a help has he been for you to kind of keep things in place?
Well, the easiest thing for me to say is ditto. I've been above and beyond pleased with Dante. I think Dante's got a real chance to help us in the fall.
That's a permanent switch.
I think so.
And then what did you see from Nick, before he's been out? Just what did he kind of show you those first practices that he had?
Yeah, number one thing with Nick is the effort that Nick plays with. Nick practices really, really hard, and I thought, again, asking him to block somebody, the C area defender, I thought he improved drastically at that, and unfortunately, I thought he'd had his best day previous to the day he got injured.
And then same thing with Odom. What did he kind of show you before his surgery?
Yeah, if I was to say anybody in the room, Odom's probably the most intelligent football-wise. You can tell he's been around the longest and things of that nature. And, and on the point, C-area blocker, I think he's done a good job. And he actually made some plays vertically down the field and actually had, I think, like a 35, 40-yarder one day in practice. So, again, we're going to challenge people vertically because if you try to put guys in a box and say, hey, this guy only runs stick routes, then what's the defense going to say? He only runs stick routes. We're going to challenge people over the top, and, we're going to do a good job with that.
You got a lot of accolades for the job you did with the running backs up at MSU. What was the switch like to tight ends?
It's been really fun. It's a totally different position. Obviously, Ken was nothing before he met me. I'm joking. Ken, oh yeah, he knows that. I make fun of him all the time about it. No, he's a great kid, and obviously, players make coaches. If I was out there playing running back at Michigan State, there'd be no accolades. I can assure you of that. But it's been a good transition. I've worked with the O-line in the past, and my first job was actually at Valdosta State coaching tight ends. And my go-to joke is I coached tight ends in a 10-personnel offense, so the tight end was never on the field, so that was pretty easy. But no, it's been good. It's been a fun transition, and I think anytime you're a coach, man, you look for challenges. And it's a challenge. It's a unique opportunity back with Coach Napier, and I'm excited.
To maybe, build your knowledge base for that position?
Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of people that I've leaned on. I've actually reached out to Coach Dez because he coached the tight ends at UL previously with Coach Napier. I've leaned on Coach Napier, some of the guys in our room, and then Coach Gilmore at Michigan State. Honestly, I've reached out to about every coach in college football or in the NFL that I think can help me.
You talked about this way back when, but your time at Napier with Clemson, how meaningful was that for you?
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason I'm here. It's the loyalty that when I was a student, he didn't have to take this nerdy white guy that was just walking around trying to do anything he could to help. And, I think at the end of the day, man, I'm just really pleased to be here and excited to be here.
What do you enjoy most about working with him and just the way that he runs his program?
I think what you see when he comes in here to these press deals, he's really about the right stuff, man. He's focused. He's got a plan for everything, and that's what I'm after, man. I'm after people. I heard somebody say this one time, that I'm tired of chasing jobs, I'm chasing people. And I want to be around good people that give me an opportunity for success, not only right now, but in the future. I'm learning every day, and that's what I'm looking for.
What do you think of just the amount of support this program has that always put in place?
You mean in terms of the support staff and the guys around? Yeah, I mean, I think I was talking to someone about this earlier. I think this is a people business, and the more people you can surround yourself with and our players with to give them resources to be successful, you're going to have success, because there's so many things that in a given day that can fall through the cracks, and having all these people around kind of allows for that not to happen.
How much are you looking forward to the freshman tight end that you got coming in and what they can bring to the room?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they go. I don't like to place expectations on guys, but I do like to see. I am excited about how those guys are going to come in and mingle with our room, because they all have 3 different skill sets, so that's exciting to me.
What do you look for when you're recruiting tight end?
The first thing I look for is, are they smart, tough, and dependable, and do they have the requisite skill set to have success in our offense? But the main thing I'm looking for is somebody that's tough and smart. I know that sounds like coach speak, but I think at the end of the day, man, you've got to be able to put your face in it and knock somebody off the football in today's day and age. You go back and look at it, most teams that win national championships can run the football first, and then you set up those play-action shots down the field.
Kyle Pitts wasn't exactly that kind of a player, but he was here just 2 years ago. Do you draw from that on any level? Can you point to him and say, hey, guys, this is what you could essentially do one day?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you use that, but also you have to realize that Kyle Pitts is a pretty special athlete. There's maybe one of those that's ever existed on earth. But I'm hoping to find the next one, I can tell you that.
Well, does that help at all?
Absolutely. I think it gives you, some recognition publicly when you're talking about recruiting, because those guys are like, whoa, Kyle Pitts played there. So that's an easy transition and things to talk about. But, yeah, I mean, that's truly a unique player. I mean, he's a unicorn.
Do you remind guys that Kyle Pitts didn't become Kyle Pitts overnight? He worked his way there.
I have not really done that yet, but that's a good point. I mean, this thing doesn't happen every day. This is a hard game, man. It's hard for freshmen to come in and play right away. Everybody wants that. I think the perception in the public says, hey, if you're a freshman, you're a 5-star player or whatever, come in and play now. But it takes time. It's a developmental game. I don't care what talent level you have. It takes time.
Was today the first day the team split for the spring?
We haven't done that yet.
Okay. How much are you looking forward to that? How much will that just kind of create competition leading up in the week to the game?
Yeah, I think really the big thing for me when we split the guys, it's really more so how they play in front of people, because we're out in the practice setting, and that's good, and I think practice is just basically a game day rep every single time. But I think being in front of people, you want to see how they react, because I remember when we were at Michigan State after the COVID year and we practiced in front of people, and my gosh, those guys were anxiety central.
Was it shocking to see that?
It really was.
Okay.
It was kind of weird.
It was still spring, right?
Absolutely, it was still spring.
What have you seen from DeJuan Blackman from the other side of the ball?
I've seen him make a lot of plays, and it really comes back to our identity program in the offseason. He was really doing a good job of finishing things. I thought he stood out there, and then he's made a lot of plays, picked a few balls off and all that good stuff in practice.
Just a few more for Coach.
Who's the leader of your room?
I think we're still trying to figure out who the leader is. I think we're still trying to define roles for those guys, but I think there's a couple guys that have a chance to be a leader.
And how have Nick and Jonathan kind of stayed engaged while they've still been out?
They've done a good job. They've been in every meeting, and actually we did a test on some of our stuff, and Odom had the best grade in the room, so he's staying engaged with everything. So.
Did you have any conversations with Dante about, he was recruited to Florida to play tight end initially.
When I first got here, I talked to him kind of like one of those wink, wink, nudge, nudge type things. And then once he kind of went through spring and saw the situation that was in front of him and the opportunity he had with us, he was actually excited about it. Great kid, too, by the way.
Like riding a bike for him?
It was. I'm fired up about him.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We're going to.
Thanks, guys.